Verse 11. And when all Jabesh Gilead heard all that the Philistines have done to Saul, verse 12, they arose, all the valiant men, all right, which means the mighty men of war of the nation of Israel, right, and took away the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons and brought them to Jabesh and buried their bones under the oak in Jabesh and fast 7 days. Verse 13. So Saul died for his what? Transgression. Okay. So this is the whole point of this scripture that I'm bringing out, right? So Saul died for his transgression, which he committed against the Most High, even against the word of the Most High, which he kept not, and also for asking counsel of one that had a what? Familiar spirit, okay, which is a witch, to inquire of it, and inquired not of the Most High. Okay, so that's when you're going off, man, when you're of the nation of Israel, which is the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negroid descent. If you're not consulting with your God, your power, your Elohim of the scriptures, man, the Most High of Israel, the God of Israel, through his one and only true begotten son, Hamashiach, then you're going off, man. Okay, as it says here again, verse 14 from the top, and inquired not of the Most High, therefore he slew him. Okay, so the Most High had King Saul and his sons slew just because they consulted with a witch, right, before they went to war against the Philistines, and turned the kingdom onto David, the son of Jesse, all right, which is King David, by the way. All right, so we're going to go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 5. Okay, we're in the book of Isaiah, chapter 5, and we're going to go down to verse 18. And it reads, woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity, and sin as it were with a cart rope. Okay, so if you're drawing iniquity with cords, all right, which is Halloween, by the way, okay, iniquity is sin, which is transgression of the Most High's laws, meaning you're not keeping his statutes and his ordinances, you're not keeping his high holy day, all right, so that's you drawing iniquity with cords, man. And vanity, vanity is what they do with Halloween, man. They dress up in all of these so-called fancy costumes, looking like ghouls and ghosts and goblins, painting their skin for the dead, honoring the dead. All right, that's all vanity, man. That's why it says this here: woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity, and sin, all right, as it were with a cart rope. All right, let's jump down to verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light, okay, which is in religious churchianity, they put darkness for light, which is Halloween, okay, celebrating Halloween, knowing that's a day of wickedness, right? Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter, all right? So that verse right there is pretty much self-explanatory. I don't even need to get into that, right? But woe unto you so-called Christians, you churchgoers, man, that's out here celebrating Halloween and don't even think to keep the Most High's laws, statutes, commandments, and his ordinances and his high holy days, all right? Which is the Feast of Tabernacles, by the way, okay? The Day of Atonement that just passed, all right? None of you thought to keep those days, which is actually biblical, but you're about to keep Halloween and break the Most High's Sabbath this weekend, okay? Calling evil good and good evil, right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 22. misspelled that there, but we're going to get it all straightened out for me, right? Okay, once again, this is your brother Howard Yasharal from the Sea Souls of Israel, the Rocks of Offense, and also the Ambassadors for Righteousness. Once again, dropping you another quick video impromptu. We're in the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, and we're going to go down to verse 5, and it reads as follows. Thorns and snares are in the way of the froward, okay, which is the proud, the haughty. He that doth keep his soul shall be far from them, all right? The ones who's keeping his soul are the ones who's keeping the law, statutes, the commandments of the Most High, right? And honoring the Most High only, along with his son, Hamashiach, all right? Verse 6, train up a child in the way he or she should go. And when he or she is old, he will not depart from it, or she will not depart from it, okay? So you shouldn't be teaching your children a wicked custom, so-called holiday as Halloween, man, okay? And honoring the dead, okay? Conjuring up evil spirits, okay? Walking around here trick or treating, dressing up like ghouls and ghosts, all right? Honoring Lucifer, Satan. That's a satanic day, man. Even in the Satanic Bible, if you do your research, you know, it says that that's one of the most celebrated days of the year, which is Halloween in the Satanic Bible. All right. So as it says here again, man, verse 6, train up a child in the way he or she should go. And when he or she is old, he or she will not depart from it. All right. So when they get older, your children are going to know not to celebrate Halloween because they know that's a wicked ASS holiday, man. All right, that's not a custom of the Most High. It's nothing biblical about Samhain, okay, aka Halloween. All right, let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 30, which is in the book of Apocrypha. And we're going to start at verse 1. And it reads as follows. All right, so it's written in Old English here, so, you know, bear with me here, brothers and sisters. It's a nice little breeze coming through here, too. All praises to the Most High for that. So once again, we're in the book of Sirach, chapter 30, starting at verse 1, and it reads, he that loveth his son causes him to often feel the rod, all right? Meaning you're going to chastise your son. You're going to chastise your children, right? That he may have joy of him in the end. Verse 2. He that chastiseth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance. Verse 3. He that teacheth his son or daughter, by the way, right, grieveth his enemy. So if you're teaching your son the correct things according to the biblical scriptures, to keep the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances of the Most High, you're going to grieve your natural born enemies, man. And before his friends, he shall rejoice of him. So in front of the dad's friends, he's going to rejoice of his children because he knows that they're going to behave properly. They're going to behave as he taught them, okay, which is in the ways of the Most High, right? Verse 4. Though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead. For he have left one behind him that is like himself. Okay, so if the dad is keeping the law, statutes, commandments, and spreading the word of the Most High, and he raised his children up in that manner, then it's only natural that their children is going to do the same thing. So when the dad dies, he's not going to be worried so much about his children because he know he left behind children that's keeping the laws of the Most High. And they're going to be protected by the Most High and his angels, all right, through Hamashiach, right? Verse 4 again. Though his father died, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he have left behind one him that is like himself. Verse 5. While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him, and when he died, he was not sorrowful. Verse 6. He had left behind him an avenger against his enemies. Okay, who are your enemies? The ones that's not keeping the law, statutes, the commandments of the Most High, and the ones that don't believe in the Most High of the Bible, the God of the Bible, the power of the Bible. They don't believe in his son, the one and only true Hamashiach. in which this world calls Jesus ignorantly, right? Verse 6. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends. Okay, let's go to the book of St. Matthew, chapter 5. And we're going to go down to verse 11, and it reads as follows. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you, Shalakia, and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Okay? So if people out there, they're being evil towards you for no reason whatsoever, without cause, just because you're keeping the laws of the Most High and you're believing in Hamashiach, you got some people out there that actually hate you for that, man, because they don't have that faith. They don't believe in the God of the Bible. They're into their idols, they're into Allah in Islam. They're into Buddha in Buddhism. They're into Krishna and Shiva in Hinduism, okay? Worshiping elephants, worshiping idols, okay? They're into Lucifer himself in religious Christianity. Okay, they're worshiping their idols and all of these other different religions, practicing witchcraft and Jainism. Okay, in these secret societies, learning the ways of the world, becoming adapted to the world. All right, so you got these people out here, they actually hate you for that, man. But this is what Hamashiach says, right? Verse 11 again from the top. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Verse 12. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in Shamayim, which is heaven, right? For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Verse 12. Slakia, verse 13. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its flavor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden down underfoot of men. Okay, as it says here, and to be trodden underfoot of men. Salakia. All right, so you're the salt of the earth, man, meaning you have the enlightenment of the Most High. You know about keeping the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. You're a set apart, holy, peculiar people, man. All right, but if you join into the world, then you're going to lose your flavor. You're going to lose your salt. You're not going to no longer be holy or Kadash. Okay, this is why Yahweh says this again, man. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its flavor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing. Okay, so you're just like the world. You're keeping all of the wicked customs of the world, man. All right, you're not no longer set apart and holy. But in continuation, but to be cast out and to be trodden underfoot of men, verse 14. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid, verse 15. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Verse 16. Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father, which is the Most High God of the Bible, right? Which is the God of Israel, which is the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negro descent, which is in Shamayim. Okay? So this is what you're supposed to be doing, man. You're supposed to be letting your light shine, man. If the Most High gave you the knowledge of these scriptures, and if you're of the nation, you got to let your light shine, man. Let your people know that they're in sin. Okay, you got to rebuke them and reprove them to let them know that they shouldn't be celebrating Halloween, man, which is a wicked custom of the world, okay? Which is one of the most celebrated days in the Satanic Bible, once again. Okay, so you got to let your light shine, man. Let's go to the book of Romans, chapter 12. Okay, we're in the book of Romans, chapter 12, and I'm going to start at verse 1, and it reads, I beseech you, meaning I urge you, therefore, brethren, By the mercies of the Most High, present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High power, which is in your reasonable service. All right. So this, like I said before, man, you got to be reproving your people out here, no matter how you're doing it, no matter if you're doing it via a videos or on social media, or even if you're in the camp, you're out there preaching the word with the brothers. All right. This is what this says here, man. Holy, acceptable unto the Most High your power, which is a reasonable service, and be not conformed to this world, okay, this society that's celebrating all of these wicked customs and holidays, man, so-called holidays, or holidays, I should say, right, or folly days. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by renewing your mind, that ye may prove what is that good, okay, and acceptable and perfect will of the power, which is the Most High. All right. Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Okay, we're in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10. And I'm going to go down to verse 19. And it reads, what say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything? Okay, just like we read in the definition of Samhain, which is, it looks like it's pronounced Samhain, but it's Samhain. They do sacrifices, okay? So this is what this is speaking about too, man. This is what this is referring to. What say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything. Verse 20. But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, okay, the Gentiles, this is speaking about the original Gentiles, or in a sense, if you want to say the Gentile minded nation of Israel that joined themselves onto the nations, right? Or keeping their customs, right? They sacrifice to devils, okay, which is Halloween, ghosts, ghouls, goblins, making prayer and supplications for the dead, okay? And not to the Most High power. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. Verse 21. Ye cannot drink the cup of the Most High, and the cup of devils. Ye cannot be partakers of the Lord's table, which is the Most High God of the Bible, and the table of devils, which is deceivers, the deceivers of the world, okay? All right, so this is what this is talking about, man. So this, like I said before in the beginning of the video, if you consider yourself a so-called Christian, all right, and which I call you, just like I said before, you just a churchgoer. You're into churchianity, man. The definition of Christian is a follower of Christ, man. All right. So this is what you're doing, man. You're basically a hypocrite. All right. You're not following Christ and celebrating Halloween this weekend, man, or Samhain. All right. Verse 21 again from the top. Ye cannot drink the cup of the Most High and the cup of devils. Okay, plural. Devils, meaning that there's more than one devils. Devils is actually a people that's walking the face of the earth today, man. All right. That's the reason why our people, the men of our nation, are called gods. Okay. So if we're called gods, then who's the devils? All right. Think about it. But that's for a different video, right? And which I will be doing soon, by the way. In continuation, ye cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and the table of devils. All right. Let's go to the book of Colossians, chapter 2. I'm going to go down to verse 20. And it reads as follows. Wherefore, if ye be dead with Christ, all right, so this is not talking about in a literal sense, this is metaphorically, right? Meaning you're dead to the world. You're not no longer keeping the wicked custom, so-called holidays of the world, right? Wherefore, if ye be dead with Hamashiach from the rudiments of the world, why, as though living in the world, are ye subject to ordinances? All right, so if you're living for Hamashiach and you're a repentant and you're keeping the law, statutes, the commandments of the Most High, you don't have to follow the rudiments of the world. You're not ordained to do these things. All right, you're not obligated to follow the ways of the world because you've given yourself to the Most High. You're keeping His law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances. All right. So this because it's Halloween or Samhain doesn't mean that you have to keep it. Just because Thanksgiving is coming up in a few weeks after that doesn't mean that you have to keep it. Or just because your people keeping it, your family and your friends, doesn't mean that you have to do it too. All right. Just because Christmas is coming up a few weeks after that and New Year's, so-called New Year's, doesn't mean that you're obligated to do that, man. All right. Because you're keeping the laws of the Most High, man. All right. Verse 20 again from the top. Wherefore, if ye be dead with Hamashiach from the rudiments of the world, why, as though living in the world, are ye subject to ordinances? Verse 21, which is the point, right? Touch not, taste not, handle not. All right. So you're not supposed to be keeping the ordinance of the world. All right. Let's go to the book of First Thessalonians, chapter 5. Okay, we're in the book of First Thessalonians, Slakia, Thessalonians, chapter 5. And I'm going to go down to verse 19. And it reads as follows. Quench not the spirit, despise not prophesying. Okay, so don't quench your spirit, man. Always teach the word of the Most High. Just like I said before, no matter if you're doing videos, no matter if you're handing out flyers, or if you're on the internet, on social media, spreading the word, or if you're in a camp and you're spreading the word with brothers and sisters, right? Just like it says here. Quench not the spirit. So always be in the spirit, man, of keeping the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, right? Verse 20, despise not prophesying. All right, verse 21, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Okay, just like I'm doing now, I'm proving to you, everyone out there in the YouTube world, that Halloween or so-called Samhain is a wicked, evil holiday, and it have nothing to do with the biblical scriptures. Although the Bible speaks of it, but that doesn't mean that we're obligated to celebrate it. All right. So this is where people get it twisted. This because certain things are spoken of in the Bible doesn't mean that we're supposed to be following it. It's just spoken of it. All right. Now, if the scriptures actually tell you to keep those customs and ordinances, then you do it. Okay, like so-called your holidays. All right, your true holidays according to the Bible, which is Passover. Okay, unleavened bread. All right, you have the real New Year, which falls between March and April. Okay, you have the Feast of Pentecost. All right, the Day of Atonement, the Tabernacles. Okay, these are the days that you should be keeping, man. All right, Purim. Okay, the Feast of Dedication. Okay, now these are the days that the Bible speaks of keeping. It's not speaking of it, it's telling you to keep it. All right. Verse 19 again, quench not the spirit, despise not prophesying, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Verse 22, abstain from all appearance of evil. Okay. Let's go to the book of St. Luke, chapter 18. Okay, we're in the book of St. Luke 18, and I'm going to go down to verse 18, and it reads as follows. And once again, this is your brother Hawada Yasharah from the Sea Souls of Israel, the Rocks of Offense, and also the Ambassadors for Righteousness. Once again, dropping you another quick video impromptu. We're in the book of St. Luke, chapter 18, starting at verse 18, and it reads, And a certain ruler asked him, saying, Good master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? Verse 19. And Hamashiach Yahushai said unto him, Why callest thou me good? None is good, save one, which means except one. That is God, which is your power, the Most High. Verse 20. Thou knowest the commandments. Do not commit adultery. Okay, so this could be taken in a literal sense or it could be taken metaphorically. You can commit adultery by sleeping with another man's wife, okay, or you can commit spiritual adultery, okay, which is our people going to be doing this weekend, which is celebrating Samhain, aka Halloween, okay. So this is Hamashiach again, written in red letter, right? Although it's not written in red letter here, but you know, for those who know the scriptures, they know that this part is written in red letter. Verse 20 again from the top. Thou knowest the commandments, okay? Whose commandments? The commandments of the Most High, all right? Not Christ's commandments. Christ didn't come giving his own commandments, all right? Thou knowest the commandments. He didn't say, Thou knowest my commandments. He didn't say that. He said, Thou knowest the commandments, which is already written, okay? Already established. Do not commit adultery. Do not kill. Do not steal. Do not bear false witness, okay? Honor thy father and thy mother, which is your dad and your mom, meaning always reference your mom and your dad, no matter what. Always speak highly of them, okay? Respect them, okay? Never disrespect your dad and your mom, all right? Let's go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 19. Okay, we're in the book of Leviticus, chapter 18. Salaki, I think I said 19, right? No, as a matter of fact, you know what? Yeah, it's 19. We're in the book of Leviticus, chapter 19. And I'm going to go down to verse 26. And it reads as follows. Ye shall not eat anything with the blood, okay? All right, so just like I read before in the definition of Halloween and Samhain, you know, what do? They sacrifice. They do actual blood sacrifices, man. All right, especially in the ancient times. And they still doing it today, although it's more commercialized nowadays. But if you go into these secret covens that these witches and warlocks have, man, you go into these secret societies, the Church of Satan, all right, which have the Satanic Bible, they still doing stuff like this, man. Now, if it's with humans, who knows? But it's definitely with animals. You know, you have your common sacrificial animals that they like to use, such as chickens and fish and turkeys and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So they still doing things like that, man. You know what I mean? The sort of conjure up all of their wickedness that they do. All right, this is their favorite time of the year, man. All right, during this time of the year and during the full moons, the different phases of the moon. All right, especially the full moon, right? That's why you always see, you know, during the commercials of Halloween that they always have like a full moon in the back. You know, they associate the full moon with wicked holidays as this right here, right? But as it says here again from the top, ye shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall ye use enchantment, okay? So when you have people enchanting about Halloween and celebrating Halloween and getting all dressed up and looking all fancified, you know, looking as ghosts, ghouls, and goblins and vampires and witches and so on and so forth, that's enchantment, man. That's a form of enchantment, all right? But what the Most High says here again in the Levitical law, ye shall not eat anything with the blood, and neither shall ye use enchantment or observe times. Don't observe these wicked, vain, false holidays, man. All right? So we're going to go to the book of Numbers, and I'm going to end that there. So for all of you who want to put something decorative on their clothing, all right, instead of celebrating this wicked, vain holiday that our people for the weekend and break the Sabbath, right? This is what you should be doing. If you want to put anything over your clothing or above your, your garments or whatever, right? This is what you should be doing, man. This is what should be doing for the Most High. If you call yourself a so-called descendant of the 12 tribes of Israel, which is the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negroid descent, the ones that's of the hopeful elect, all right? The ones that's keeping the laws, statutes, commandments, and ordinances of the Most High, man. This is what you should be doing instead of celebrating Halloween and dressing up as, just like I said, ghosts, ghouls, and goblins, and vampires, and witches, and warlocks, and dragons, and devils, and so on and so forth, man, and demons, what have you, right? This is what you should be doing, man, right? The book of Numbers, chapter 15, verse 37, and it reads as follows. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, which is you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negroid descent, all right? He didn't say the whole entire world, right? This is pretty much straightforward, okay? Verse 37, again from the top. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them, meaning urge them, okay, that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, all right? So that means as long as you're still alive, as long as you still have children, you have a lineage coming through your loins, man, all right? That's your generations, man. That's your generational children going on in the world, right? Speak on to the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments, all right? So the border, technically, even though a lot of brothers, they wear it around the bottom of their shirts, but technically a border is like an inseam, okay? So that means like if you have an inseam, like say on the side of your pants, or you can have an inseam somewhere, um, that's pretty much it, really, man. Like if you're wearing a jacket or something, if you have like a little inseam going across the top part, the top back part of your coat or your jacket or whatever, or you can have the inseam going down the side of your shirt along your shoulder part, right? That's basically the border, the inseam, all right? Now, it's okay if you want to wear your fringes around the bottom of your shirt. You can make an inseam towards the bottom of your shirt and put your fringes there, all right? But the true inseam is where the stitching is, which is sort of like in between or in the middle of your pants leg or whatever, or in the middle of your shirt sleeve, right? So in continuation, speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the border of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put on the fringe of the border a ribbon of blue. All right. So that's what you should be doing, man. Not dressing up as ghouls and goblins and painting your face for the dead, honoring the dead, conjuring up evil spirits. All right. That's not a custom of the Israelites, man. All right. Leave that to the Canaanites. Leave that to the other nations, man. All right. That's their customs. But this is what the Most High tells us to do, man. Let's read that again, verse 38 for the top. Speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the border of the garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribband of blue. Verse 39. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Most High, and do them, okay? And that ye seek not after your own heart, which is mine, and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a whoring, okay, which is spiritual adultery, right? Verse 40, that ye may remember and do all my commandments and be holy, meaning Kadash, right? Unto your power, which is the God of the Bible, the God of Israel. I am the Lord, which is the Most High, your God, okay? You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negroid descent, which is of the hopeful elect, the ones that's keeping the laws of the Most High. Verse 41 again. I am the Most High, your power, which brought you out of the land of Egypt, which is bondage, right? Synonymous with bondage. To be your power. I am the Most High, your power. So the Most High just kept reiterating here, man, in verse 41, letting us know, which is the children of Israel, that he is our God and our God only, man. All right? So this is what our people need to do, man. We need to repent and come back to the ways of the Most High, man, especially if you call yourself a so-called Christian, unless you're just a hypocrite. All right, so I'm going to end this here. So hopefully that this video was edifying. Hopefully that it was enjoyable. Until the next time. This is your brother Ahawad Yasharah from the Seed Souls of Israel, the Rocks of Offense, and also the Ambassadors for Righteousness. Once again, dropping you another quick video. Hopefully that you enjoyed it. Hopefully that you will have a lovely, lovely day and keep the commandments of the Most High. Don't break his Sabbath. Don't keep this wicked, vain holiday that most of our people are going to be keeping, which is so-called Halloween or Samhain. Until the next time, I say, Shalom.